being part of all these groups, independent filmmaker groups and everything else, on Facebook and whatever, I wanted to address what everybody seems to be talking about, or maybe they're not talking about it and should be talking about it, the strike, and how the strike is unfortunate for the strikers, but is creating an opportunity for the independent filmmaker. I don't know, the question was something about festivals. Oh, should I spend the money and get reviews and festivals? At this point, at this juncture, is a waste of time, in my opinion. Only because I think this opportunity that has happened is unique. The content is going to dry up, and it's drying up, and no one is shooting anything that's part of the union. So, being non-union, obviously, and I happen to be sitting on content, and I've come to the realization that it's the right time, right place. The future, well, the future is YouTube, but right at the moment, I'm being clawed at from a lot of different areas. What does that mean? Well, I release through Film Hub, so I'm completely happy with them, and I don't need to seek sales agents and other distributors or pay upfront costs. And for example, I have somebody, I won't mention who they are, pretty substantial distributor coming after me for the head, and hard convincing me, or trying to convince me how you have to do this, it has to be like this, and da 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 da. But I thought it was funny because in their initial contact was like, oh, your movie has to look like this, has to be like this, give it to us to let us critique it, so you can make any changes to get it global ready or industry ready. I forget how they said it. Netflix ready, it's got to have a Netflix look, and it's so strange to me because it's like, that's when people aren't doing the work. I mean, if anybody Googled me or researched, they would find out Netflix ready is not what I'm doing. Don't care. Anyway, so they go on and on and on and on and on, and I just felt like responding, and I did, and I was like, well, thanks, blah 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 blah. I want to go a different direction, and they were saying, oh, I know what it was. They were saying, you need to have, we'll help you, but we'll give you some funds, and what that means is if anybody's giving you money like that, what that means is like, oh yeah, we'll help pay for this and that and the other thing, and take a gigantic back end, your rights. So be I don't know about that. Anyway, so I had to laugh because they were talking about, oh, we're going to get a sales agent, and then we're going to do all the festivals and the marketing, and it may not be ready for, to release till like next year or something like that. And I'm thinking, man, we don't have to next year. We have right now. Right now is the opportunity. Right at this second. I don't know how long it's going to last, but the longer this strike, stops the work, there's no content being made. Some people are saying that by February the industry implodes. Like, that's it. No more Hollywood, no more anything. Meanwhile, as you know, people are sitting there, they're still watching things. They're still consuming content. So they are not missing it. And that's a whole other discussion. I want to talk about that too. But the strike almost is throwing gasoline on the fire. It's kind of like, Photomat going on strike because those nasty digital cameras are taking their jobs away. And you can stamp your feet all you want, but AI is coming, and we can't stop it. And that's all there is to it. Now, for the other things, getting paid that they're striking about, I think is legitimate and should, be resolved in some certain way. I mean, because that's what's happening. As a musician, I've been here before, and I think that's why when this was being whispered about, I was like, uh-oh, okay, I better set myself up and get ready, because I've been here before. And I think, once again, I'm not a filmmaker. For a couple years, I've been a musician my whole life. I've been in through it. I've seen the Napster days. And when the record companies, they just scoffed it off like, we don't care. See, we're this record company, we're that record company. Well, where are they now? They're all out of business. Consumers want to consume things for free, and that's not going to change. And it destroyed us. There was no way to make any money as an original musician. There is no more. That's just how it is. I'm not making this up. There is no music industry. It's over. There will never be again. The Pink Floyds, the Rush, the Beatles, the Zeppelin. They'll never be again because they can't make any money to grow. So it's over. That's why you're seeing the bands that are in their 80s still on stage, because there is nothing else, and except tribute bands that are mimicking what was great. But that's another story. We're going to dive into that too. But I've seen this before is the point. So I knew what was coming, and I know what is coming, and we have to be ready for it. So, okay, how do you get ready for it? Good content quickly, I think, is the answer. Great stories, decent enough production, as fast as you can, because we're going to have to keep up with the wave that's coming. Writing small, I'm keeping my production down and to get it done, but I'm not sacrificing story. I think we just need to rethink story. We got to, okay, I can't do this thing that would require this many actors or this many locations. Can't do it. And which you've noticed over the years, all the horror especially, it's cabin in the woods type of thing. It's like, a bunch of co-eds running around in the woods being chased by whoever. Who cares? Why? Because it's cheap. If you do a location, in a house, let's say, you set the house up, all the rooms that you're going to use, and they're set up, and you set it and forget it. You're done. You don't have to break things down. You don't have to redo things. You just have to say, okay, I do a day. It's kind of like a soundstage. This is what you have to think. I think. Now everyone's going to say, hey, we don't know what you're talking about. All right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, I've been here before, being a musician in the music business. I knew it when it started. The whisperings were happening. I understand the strike. However, I understand what's going to happen. And the ironic part is, I think the writers that started the strike are in the driver's seat. I think, hear me out, I think the future is the idea guys, before AI takes over that, will be able to sit there and have a computer. You don't need to hire a film studio or sell your script to a film studio. Become the film studio. You have the idea. Go into a computer, hire tech guys to make a movie with your computer. Yes, a lot of people are going to lose. I get it. But what I'm saying is, the writers, I think, can survive. I think because the idea guys will survive a little longer, at least, before we're all replaced by robots.